Welcome to Panels and Borders. I'm Dominic, and I'm just going to go on a bit of a, just free form thing here as I'm, doing some digital inks for this character that I'm working on for a friend of mine. Just talking about like writing comics and, writing as a hobby. Now, I just write as a hobby. I'm not a professional writer by any stretch of the imagination. I just write because it's something that relaxes me, and, it's something that I can do in my spare time, and it's kind of like building a ship inside of a bottle, I guess. But I like to write comics and write stories about comics. But I find for writing comics, it's always good to get outside of the medium for inspiration for stories. Instead of always reading comics or comic movies, it's always good to go outside into other things, and like other types of books, other types of genres, and things not related to comics, because you never know where a good idea is going to come from, or what's going to spark a good idea. For example, one idea that was always, I always thought was interesting is the idea that we live in a holographic universe. And this has been a theory that's been around for a while. And it's an interesting theory. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if it's true or not true. But it's an interesting theory. And the theory goes something that the universe that we live in is basically holographic. And it's a computer simulation. Now, some people believe that it's literally a computer simulation like the Matrix. Some other people believe that it only has the qualities of a computer simulation, but it's actually just naturally the way the universe is. So there's, a lot of interesting theories about that. But I've always been really, really fascinated by this idea of a holographic universe. And one author that really does this subject justice, and one that I follow and I've read many of his books, is an author by the name of Anthony Peake. Now, he's talked about this idea a lot, and his take is that you're reliving your life. When you die, you just loop your life over again, and you relive it again. And his original theory started off that when you die, as you're dying, you relive your life again in the last few seconds before you die, and it creates almost like a loop. And then you die. So this is not the first version of your life. So if you die and then you relive your life. And he started off coming to this theory by, he wanted to write a book about the deja vu, how people experience deja vu. And so he came to the theory that when you experience deja vu, you're actually, that's a clue that you're reliving your life again, that you've already died and you're reliving your life again. And it started off, basically his explanation was because of certain chemicals in the brain and all that kind of thing. And he goes into the science of it all. Now, his books he becomes a little bit less materialistic in his beliefs as his books go on. But I read quite a few of his books. But he really gets into the whole idea of, this universe is basically, this reality is a false one. And there's like a greater reality beyond this one. A very Gnostic viewpoint. But a lot of his ideas, have really inspired me in my writing of fiction. A lot of these ideas I've taken and I used in fiction, and I used it in, very heavily in a story that I'm working on for a comic that I, want to draw someday, or have someone else illustrate it for me. But his ideas have really been inspirational for that. So that's why it's always good to be very well-read and step outside the realm of comics. I mean, there's a lot of comics that are very inspirational too, of course. A lot of classics and that. But it's always good to go outside into other things and read, stuff that's not related to comic books at all. And because you never know when you're going to, get a good idea, that's going to spring from that. So that's that's all I really wanted to talk about in this video, and just wanted to talk about this while I'm doing some digital inking. So let me know some of the things that you've read that have inspired you, books that are outside of the realm of comics that you would get inspiration for. So let me know in the comments, and if you like this video, subscribe and give me a thumbs up, and I will see you at the next one.